Hey guys, it's Ray from Green Apple Painting, and this video is a lot different than most of my videos. This is an instructional video, tutorial video, on how to paint a room. So we're going to start now with prepping the room, so pay attention and try to keep up. Start your prep by clearing the room of as much furniture as possible. Remember, an empty room is the easiest room to paint. Next, use drop cloths or plastic to cover floors. Newspaper and old bed sheets should only be used as a last resort. Alright, the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to check your walls for any holes or nail pops or even cracks, and you want to get those patched right away. The reason why is most of those things are going to take a little bit of time to dry. So do those now, and then you can continue prepping, and then while you're prepping that will dry, then you come back and sand it. Okay, so here we have your typical patch. We didn't put a screw all the way through the drywall, but you've got your basic makings of a nail hole of some sort. This is what I really kind of wanted to focus on. You've got a little bit of this fuzz from the drywall hanging out here, and what most homeowners do, and even I see painters, experienced painters, will go right over this and try to patch it. And what happens is this fuzz just keeps popping right back out. So we're going to take care of that. So what you're going to want to do is take the back side of your knife. I've got my putty knife here. So you're going to want to take the back side and you're just going to want to dent that in a little bit and make a decent little dent. It's easier to fill a hole than it is to try to float over something that's sticking out from the surface. We're going to use spackle here. You know, most professional painters will use a drywall compound, but I know you guys probably aren't professional painters and you're going to use spackle, so that's what I'm going to use. So we're just going to put that spackle over the top of it like that. Then we're going to do what's called pulling it tight. Now, most homeowners are going to leave it like that, and then they're just going to try to come back and sand it, and most spackles are extremely difficult to sand. So what we do is we take it and we pull it super tight. Now, there's a good chance that when this dries, it's going to shrink, and then I'll just give it one more coat, and then we'll be A-okay. Okay, so you've just spackled your nail holes, and now the next step, if you're going to paint window trim or door trim, now's the time to at least do the edges. You want to do the edges so that you can get a little bit of that on the wall. You don't have to be perfect. You can paint the edges, get some of that on the wall, and it'll dry up while we're continuing to do the rest of our prep. We're trying to be super efficient. If you're going to do baseboard, I would wait till the very end, paint all your walls first, then paint the baseboard. So we're going to head right into the next step, which is taping off the base. Okay, so basically what we're going to do now, we're going to tape off the base, and we have 1.5 inch masking tape. I know a lot of homeowners want to use the blue tape. And if you're going over a freshly painted surface, that's probably a good idea, but this is not freshly painted. And the yellow tape has a lot better adhesion. So I like to use yellow tape as opposed to the blue tape. It just sticks better, lasts longer. So we're going to use that here. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is get a duster brush or even a rag. And you want to dust off this top edge, because if it's full of dust, even with some good sticky tape, it's not going to want to stick. And then the last thing you're going to want to do is when you pull this tape because you think your room is done, and then you see all this paint bleeding onto the base, and then you go, oh my gosh, now we got to clean that. It's really a bummer when that happens. So dust your base off really good, clean it. You don't have to use a wet rag, just get the dust off so we can get a nice clean surface to make this stick. So we're going to get, usually I'll use like a 4 or 5 foot piece. But for this purpose, we're going to use just maybe a 3 foot piece here, and you're just going to want to use your thumb or your finger and try to stay as best as you can on the top of this edge. I know I just made that look real easy, and for most of you, you're going to get some of it on the wall, and you're not going to get it fully on this very small, maybe 1/8 inch piece of trim on top. But eventually you're going to get it. So again, After you do that, push it down with your finger, take your 5-in-1 or your putty knife and just give it a nice firm push on there, and that again will help it stick to the base, and when you pull this tape you won't have any issues. So I'm going to finish out the rest of this room. You guys go ahead and try that on your own.
While taping, use fans to dry patches or door edges.
Alright, door frame edges. Most professional painters that I know do not tape them off. They would rather just cut it in with a brush. They think it's faster, blah, 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 blah. I used to think that way too until I started doing it. It's faster, it's cleaner, it's neater. So you're going to want to do the exact same thing. Pretty much same process as taping off the base. You want to have a nice clean edge, and just make sure you press it down nice and tight and keep it straight. So I'm not going to go any further than that, but I'm going to start taping off my door frames. And the next thing we're going to do is we are going to take off all of our outlet covers and light switch covers.
After you have all of the covers removed, make sure that you tape them off. Next, sand any patches and walls if needed.
So after you've sanded your patches, you're going to want to prime them. If you can buy a drywall primer, that's the best thing to use. If not, you can use flat paint. That'll usually prime them out too. Any kind of old paint, even if it's the wrong color. If it's flat, that'll usually prime it out. The reason why you want to prime your patches, especially if you're going to use any kind of sheen in your paint, like an eggshell or satin or semi-gloss. When you have a patch or even any kind of fresh drywall, when you paint with a gloss or any kind of paint that has a sheen, like I said, eggshell or even semi-gloss or satin, something like that, where the patch is, it's going to soak most of that sheen up. And so when you look at the wall, you'll see nice, shiny, even, smooth color and sheen. And then you'll see this patch, which is going to look dry and kind of really mess up your whole wall. So you're definitely going to want to prime your patches.
At this point, your prep work is done and it's time for paint. To see how it's done, watch part 2. For a step-by-step printable version of what you've just seen, visit us at gogreenapple.com and click on the Painting Tips for Homeowners page.